league, but we do have Ian Rappaport with us now. Ian, what are you hearing about what is likely to happen with Kareem Hunt moving forward?
Well, first of all, this is an incident that the NFL and the Chiefs have been aware of since it happened in the spring, and something that Kareem Hunt has publicly commented on, and Clark Hunt, the Chiefs owner, has also publicly commented on. But clearly, several people involved did not realize the severity until they saw the video. My understanding is the NFL had not seen the video until today. At this point, the belief is also that the Chiefs had not seen the video. The video was in the hands of police, and then, of course, today TMZ gets it. So as this is playing out in real time, the Chiefs found out. They sent Kareem Hunt home, and now they have been essentially discussing options with the NFL. And one strong option here would be the commissioner's exempt list, which is the same thing that Reuben Foster was recently put on. Essentially, it takes Kareem Hunt off the field. It basically puts him to the side until this situation is resolved. This is something that Commissioner Roger Goodell is the only one who has the authority to do this. Teams do not have the authority. Hunt would still be getting paid, but would not be playing, essentially, until Roger Goodell takes him off this list and makes him active again.
All right, thank you very much, Ian Rappaport. And again, we are waiting for statements from the NFL and the Chiefs on this, and we will bring those to you as soon as we have them. One assumes that this might have playoff implications for the Chiefs if they don't have Kareem Hunt moving forward, and that could have playoff implications for the Chargers, who will not have Melvin Gordon this weekend. The Chargers running back ruled out with a knee injury this week, which means that it'll be Austin Eckler toting the rock for LA this weekend in Pittsburgh, a place in which Phillip Rivers hasn't had all that much success. 1-3 in his career.
I feel like some of the most physical games we've been in have been at Pittsburgh, and we haven't fared very well there over the years, other than the 2012 when we went there. But it's kind of it's one of those. I mean, Kansas City's that way to me. Pittsburgh, it's kind of one of those just old school NFL atmospheres. And throw the fact that it's in December with two teams that are, right there in the hunt in the AFC, right there in the hunt, and you expect a heck of a game.
Yeah.
So we brought up the playoffs. Let's take a look at the playoff picture here presented by IKEA, which will show you where the teams stand as of now. Steelers are the 4 seed, Chargers are the 5 seed. So if the playoffs started today, these two teams would play each other on Wild Card Weekend, though both teams would like to avoid that. Pittsburgh in the mix for a bye, trying to move into the top 2 spots. Chargers in a position to take the division back from Kansas City. So there is a lot for both teams to play for this weekend. How does the loss of Gordon impact the way that the Chargers will play?
Well, I don't think it's going to impact much, because there's a running back that they drafted this year, Justin Jackson out of Northwestern, who's a bigger back who can kind of do something similar to Melvin Gordon. Now, when the Chargers are winning and they're doing well, Phillip Rivers throws the ball about 25 to 27 times a game. When they're losing, he's throwing it 40-plus times a game. So you want to have the run action. You want to be able to run the ball, let Phillip Rivers do the play action pass, find his receivers downfield, create space for him. And as good as a quarterback as Phillip Rivers is, he's still an older quarterback, so he needs to be able to have time and protect. And the running game helps your offensive line, especially against Pittsburgh, whose defense is playing better.
Yeah. Their defense is playing better. How do you like that matchup there?
I like it a lot. I mean, if you go through before this last game, winning the 6-game winning streak, they're only giving up about 18 points a game in that win streak for the defense. You got to look at the matchup. You like the matchup. This is the fact that Gordon's not there.
Right.
You try to make them one-dimensional. You try to make all offenses one-dimensional. You make Phillip Rivers, who you said is an older quarterback, he's going to be 7 yards deep behind the center and the guards. The Pittsburgh Steelers know that. They just got to get to him. Got to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. Then that takes the advantage to the defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers, just for the fact that they have to be able to catch the ones that come to them, and they can get some turnovers and get the offense a sure field.
Yeah, you like the Steelers' defense this week better than the Chargers' defense? You said that they have the edge. Is that just as a team, or is that specifically of the defenses? Because this Chargers defense has been playing really good this year, especially with Bosa back.
Well, statistically, the Steelers defense is better. He's moving over because Bosa. He's moving over because Bosa came in. But I'm gonna stick with the Steelers defense. It's the fact they've been playing really good football after the first couple of games. They just have to be able to catch the interceptions and make big plays for their for their offense and give them a short field.
You said catch the interceptions. That's the problem. The Chargers do that, and then you get Bosa back, who's going to add instant pressure. He does a great job rushing off the strong side.
Who has the best statistical defense?
I don't. Bosa hasn't been there, so we don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. No, we'll see. Gus Bradley, handle your business. It's time to go. You saw who I picked.
We'll see when you're in Pittsburgh.
A -7 turnover margin.
And it's at night.
For the
It's going to be
Steelers.
cold.
That's all right.
So
Everybody can play
They're
in
going
the
to need
cold.
a campfire.
Everybody
Their
can
little
play in the
finger's going to
cold,
be
man.
cold.
It's
Their
cold in
toes gonna
LA.
get cold. You don't
It's cold in LA. It's 60 degrees right now. It's all the same.
It's also cold in the D, as T-Baby told us. He's unblemished as a starter, perfect 2-0 for the Ravens, and by all accounts, Lamar Jackson, he's going to need a shot to move to 3-0 Sunday versus Atlanta. Now, Joe Flacco, doubtful ahead of Sunday with that lingering hip issue, but John Harbaugh says that Flacco could be an option. So, from an Atlanta perspective, let's check in with Tiffany Blackman in Flowery Branch with the latest.
We'll see Falcons linebacker Deion Jones back on the field for the first time since week 1. That's when he broke his right foot. Jones was activated from IR roughly 2 weeks ago, and Coach Dan Quinn said this week he had an excellent week of practice, and they wanted to be sure that he could fully be himself, and that's what they saw out of him. Now, I did speak with Ravens receiver John Brown about how Jones can impact a game. Brown told me that dude can change a game. He said they have to make sure they know where Jones is at all times, and they have to try to control Jones with their run game. That run game does include their rookie quarterback in Lamar Jackson, who has averaged 95 rushing yards over the past 2 games. Brown told me that Jackson is a great ball player. He already understands the game. And he said just as much as they trust Joe, they have that same trust in Lamar.
Thank you, Tiffany. Now, still to come, Zeke Elliott had more yards than Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram combined. So is Saquon Barkley going to pull off the same feat against the Bears? Questions for Sunday, answers today. That and more coming your way after the break. Stick around.
Let's do the thing